Yu Yu Hakusho and anything by this guy. So I don't know what he's done lately. So maybe it's a different talk. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 533. Yoshihiro Togashi needs more gay. I don't know much about Togashi. I do know we've done this YouTuber before, and all of his videos are like this. It's like, this thing needs more gay. And we're like, ugh. So this thing...
That's all his life?
I don't know. Whatever he likes. I don't... Like, usually we think this is like the girl's favorite thing to do, is talk about pairings between males and females in their favorite thing. They do that a lot. We've covered at least. Maybe the guys do it too. I've never encountered it except from this guy.
Well, I can imagine that that there are certain gay people that want more gay in everywhere so that they can have more fat material.
I guess that's natural to watch your favorite show that doesn't have exactly what you want and say, I want more of what I want, which happens to be sexual. That's fine. I don't care. But if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't lend itself to those elements, then I'd be like, this is getting creepy. This is kind of weird. So it really depends on the argument. It really depends on the show. And my knowledge of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter is very limited, and they're not too much about romantic comedies, except maybe Yu Yu Hakusho is a bit, but not much. So anyway.
And it's mainly kids targeted audience anime. Why should there be more gay stuff in it?
Yeah, but again, I don't care. It's the same with like Sailor Moon. They have gay elements or homosexual elements. Like, that's fine.
It's very superficial.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, and they show it. It's like, yeah, they're together.
And it's just a relationship. It's not when I hear needs more gay, then what I hear, because due to the people saying it, what they mean is flamboyant, more colorful, sexually explicit.
Maybe, I don't know.
And that's the vibe I get when people say that.
Yeah, I think of like,
because due to the type of people who say it and how they say it, and also what they talk about, what they actually want in detail. And I don't think that's the right thing to put in a kids show.
Yeah, when you talk about charged scenes or suggestive scenes, I think of like JoJo, where there's all those scenes are electric. There's all these poses. Mm-hmm. There's all these fighting. There's shirts getting torn off. It's very charged. I wouldn't call it homosexual, though. I wouldn't call it like, this is a sexy pose. Sometimes it is sexy, but not really. It's kind of like, it's action and it's flamboyant, and that's about it. So, yeah, you could see 80s buff guys in multiple colors doing magical things as gay, I guess. It's up to you. But you wouldn't say, I wish there was more gay in JoJo. Like, you would never say that.
Yeah. I mean, if you yourself are a niche audience, you should be fine that your niche is getting stuff, and you should rather care that what you get is good stuff.
Right. And
in that specific niche.
And you wouldn't worry about other people saying, well, you need more romance, you need more action. It's like, no. Yeah. We know what we're doing.
If you have the stance of my niche needs to be the norm, then then you're an asshole.
Yeah, like look at...
And all you care about is yourself, and everybody must love what I like.
Yeah, with JoJo, it's been such a long-running series that they're just doing whatever they want. And every chapter is its own incarnation, which is crazy and fun and cool. So you don't need someone telling a guy who likes what he's doing, who's passionate about it, where to take his story, unless he's really asking for it. So... Alrighty, we're waiting for one other person to pop in. In the meantime, I'll read a donation, and we'll talk about the video. Here is Johnson Swanson Thompson. Okay, thank you, sir. This is a very middle-aged and bearded man who's going to argue that an anime for young boys needs gayness. I don't want to say what he is, but I'll say this. The Smudcast goes to a cave to look for diamonds. Fantastic. Goes into a cave to look for minors. Well, I don't know about this dude. It's been a while since we covered him. But this is about, 5 years old? Yeah, about 5-year-old video. Came out in September of 2017. Has just above 54,000 views. And it's got 2.1k upvotes and 1.2k downvotes. Uh-oh. So some people are disagreeing. Wonder why.
Maybe you should broaden the things in your life.
Yeah, I'm looking at this.
Not just make everything gay. Just, I don't know, start knitting or something.
Yeah, I'm looking at a sidebar, and there's a guy who's critiquing this fellow. He says, needs more gay, the homophobic hypocrite. Like, oh no. That doesn't sound good. All right. Well, it's less than 6 minutes, guys. This won't take long unless he talks really quickly, and we have to pause a lot. Let's find out. Here we go.
I'm Rantasmo, and Yoshihiro Togashi needs...
Why does he need to speak with this extremely high pitch?
Maybe that's just how he was born. I don't know.
No, I don't know. There's lots of gay people that have this extremely high-pitched voice that sounds like a squeaky stress toy. When you know these things that when you're really angry and you press it and then some squeaky noise comes out. And I have this voice and it gives me a headache. Like it makes my skull ring. I don't know why they talk like this. Like, it's not that he looks like he has testosterone issues. It's just for some reason they talk this high pitch.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of curious about that too, because there must be something why they bring their voice up like this. Like why would you do that? What's the point?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, that's not how women talk. A female voice is not it's not just talking your voice in your head. Oh god, I can feel my skull ringing when I do that.
All right, maybe again.
Just why I didn't adopt this horrible thing from. There's these trans people who don't get who want to get a female voice but don't get an actual voice trainer. That is an actual profession. You can do that with logopedics, for example. I think, and if they just do it themselves or go with their local rainbow community, they just end up speaking very high pitched and often nasally, and that has nothing. That's just you just sound. If you do that, you just end up sounding like a gay man, not like a woman.
And there are masculine ways to have a higher voice, not necessarily a higher pitched voice. Obviously, it's a higher pitch, but it's not like purposely, brutally high pitch. It's just a higher tone, and we see that with voice acting. We hear that with David Suchet when he was explaining the voice. There's a video on him. He interviews a few times with multiple people. He says the Poirot voice is a head voice because he shows the versions of like a French accent, and the French start very good, like hello, bonjour, and he goes hello, hello. Like he goes very high, where Poirot is like right near the nose. That's where he puts it, and that's how he speaks, very softly but very high, and not very loudly. So it's a nice, gentle, high voice. So he can do that.
It's why I think there was in Matrix 2 very well put that saying anything in French sounds like wiping your ass with silk.
French is a fun language. It's a little difficult to learn, but it's very elegant. And once you get it, it sounds cool. But you have to practice because it's hard.
And I think also because who was it? Tyler Preston in the chat says this guy also called for Steven Crowder to be the platform of YouTube because of the Carlos Maza incident, where Crowder just called Carlos Maza what Carlos Maza calls himself. It's be queer. It's in his Twitter bio.
So you can't.
So Crowder used that, but when Crowder said it, he was suddenly evil and bad and needed to be barraged.
Oh, this is this is probably worse than using the N-word, because the N-word is usually associated only the blacks can use the N-word. But if someone calls themselves a word and you use it, then they shouldn't be offended. But
yeah. So my question to the rainbow fascists is this: why is Carlos Maza allowed to call himself a lesbian queer, but nobody else is? And we are not allowed to call ourselves trannies. That I see some discrepancy here. Anyway, I think this high-pitched voice is a subcultural thing in the gay scene, where it's just adopted by rapport with the other gays. Someone at some point has started this for some reason, and then it just stuck.
Well,
and spread.
Let's hope and assume this person is in fact gay, because it would be really weird if he was advocating for cartoons to have gay content. I'd be like, ugh, I don't know, dude. That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get going. Who knows how long this will take? We might flip out and have 2 hours worth of content and find out.
What? Do just the two of us?
Yeah,
I don't think
well, yeah, who knows?
More gay.
Okay.
Nothing psychs you up quite like the opening of a shonen anime. I think it's all the
That was
posing.
drug music.
I feel like there is very little in my life that could not be improved by cool poses.
Okay, so he's talking about shonen anime for young adults or kids. Okay. How does this transition to talking about we need some gay stories in here? Oh, boy.
Okay, he's gonna talk about shonen, which is anime for young boys, adolescent boys, and he wants more gay in it. If anybody wants to draw conclusions already, that's up to you. I will not stop you. But this is gonna go bad quick, I fear.
Yeah, this is not comfortable already, but there are gay characters in these stories, like we sent before Sailor Moon, but it's not a factor in the plot. It's not a factor in the story. It's just a thing that's there off to the side, and everything's like, yeah, cool, whatever. It's not a big deal. So hopefully that's the approach he's going to take, or the conclusion he's going to come to.
At least a little bit. Yoshihiro Togashi is a manga artist and the husband of Naoko Takeuchi, best known as...
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Well, that's a lot of Japanese culture defined by just one pair. I wonder whether they got to know each other through the profession or before it.
Well, it's a lot of hard work to do any of this stuff, so they must have been like in the trenches, like, oh, this is so hard. I need help. Oh, you're just like me. Oh my god. Who knows? Anyway, here is the Rentoid Oppressor. Thank you, sir, or ma'am, whoever you are. Speaking of naughty words, the most offensive word you can call someone is the N-word. Really? The N-word being Naruto fan. Oh. And also, this guy hasn't posted on YouTube in a while. Is he a movie Bob type that barely makes videos and lives on Twitter? I don't know. We're going to have to check out his Twitter. I don't want to...
I haven't posted videos in ages, but I also don't post on Twitter.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know.
It's possible. You never know with these guys. They could be on Odyssey. They could be on other streaming platforms. I could not tell you how they operate. But I hope he is. I hope he's at least producing content so he's not known as some creepo who's just talking about the gay and kids.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of weird.
And maybe he has an actual life where he's doing non-gay things and not organizing meetings for Numbler or something.
Maybe. I don't know. That would be nice. Anyway, Sailor Moon, fantastic. He's married to Naoko Takeuchi. Fantastic.
The author of Sailor Moon and other shoujo manga, or comics aimed primarily at young girls. Togashi, on the other hand, specializes more in shonen manga, which is aimed mostly at boys, and tends to have more emphasis on things like action, competition, and enthusiastic spiky-haired children. From what I've seen of Togashi's work, it is often shonen at its most shonen-y. But something that both shonen and shoujo manga have in common is a history of incorporating gender ambiguity and fluidity.
Okay, I would say a lot of styles of manga, drawing styles, hairstyles, are already like that. I don't know specifically about this show or his shows, but I wouldn't just say because they look gender neutral or very androgynous, that's like a sign of anything. That's just how they draw. It's pretty common, in fact. So a lot of the manga I've been reading, man, just not now, but even over the years, have had many androgynous characters. There's one in the anime I'm watching, which is also a manga I'm reading, Komi-san. There's that one guy who sounds that one guy who's really energetic, but wears a kilt or a dress or whatever. So technically it's a girl, but no one really knows because he acts like, it's kind of hard to say. But that's the point. You're not supposed to see them as anything else.
I didn't get that far. I reserve Komi-san for the worst of the worst days. So I.
You only watch it when you need a security blanket.
Oh no, the manga.
Okay.
Did I make an anime by now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's good.
Okay.
Very good.
No. I am very slow reading Komi-san because there are a few things I reserve as special resources, like the best of the best. I would love to just chuck through it, but I'd rather keep it as this little treasure on the side because reading Komi-san just makes you happy.
It is great. It is such like I wouldn't say every single chapter, but it's always something neat and clever, and there's always some character moment, like some character comes out and Komi and what's his face, Hitachi, or I can't remember the main character's name, comes out because he's the guy who could just read Komi-san and figure out what she wants and everyone else is confused. That's pretty much how every story goes. But some of the characters come out to play, and it's really crazy because they're so weird, and everyone's quirky. Then you have this immaculate, perfect woman or young lady, and she's terrified of everything. You're like, oh my god, she's
just a living piece of art.
Right? Yeah, and everyone just like, we have to protect her from everything. It's great. It's really fun story, and it's not even, as Japanese as it is, it's not even just a Japanese shonen or shoujo story. It's for everyone. It's really that good, and it's so fun.
I would have when I was in school, I would have loved it if it had been accepted that I just communicate through writing, and instead of having to open my mouth and make noises.
Yeah, there's
horrible.
There's stories of people who are super shy in many mangas, and they use that, but it's never been talked about the way they talk about it in Komi-san because she's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that it's like a trope you see in manga, and you're like, that's weird. Like, why are they always doing that? What's that? The thing they do with their fingers, and they're doing a katra.
It's called smart. It's called pointing.
Yeah, with ninjas and magic happens. Like, what is that? It's like, oh, Naruto has a whole thing behind that. It's not.
Oh, you meant the God, what was
ninjutsu or whatever they want. There's all these.
Jing is something else.
There's all these hand signals throughout manga and anime that no one knows what the hell they are, and then Naruto comes by.
I have a book on that somewhere. Fucking hell.
Yeah, there's like a language, and you don't know until you actually watch an anime that does it properly.
It's basically a couple elements. There's not a lot of these things. There's one I still remember how to do, and I didn't do it because of Naruto. I just did it because I read a lot of weird stuff I found in the library.
Yeah.
And every time I make it, it's supposed to if you're into esoteric shit. And I'm just because it's, oh, cool, we have real world people that believe in magic shit. But I can't summon a fireball. Why doesn't it work? But it's still fun. And you can use it at least as meditation help to not fall asleep, for example. And I still know this one that's supposed to be a healing thingy. And every time I do it, when I'm bored, I'm in a group and other people just fold their hands and I just randomly do this thing without noticing. And they think I'm breaking my fingers because it's like if you want, we can do an exercise. Haha. So you look at your palms, open, fingers spread, and you put your left ring finger on your right ring finger. Then you put your thumbs on the tips of your ring fingers, which is then from the opposing hands. And then you use your middle fingers to envelop your ring fingers from inside. and then your ring fingers should be resting in the gap between your thumb and forefinger. And your forefingers and your pinky fingers should automatically touch.
Okay.
Looks like you're casting lightning as Raiden in Mortal Kombat.
Okay, I can't quite do that because I'm using push to talk, so I can't try that out right now.
So, and it's fun. I think it's somehow more comfortable than any other pose I found during meditation, because I just didn't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't just want to fold them into each other. And when I started doing this, it was just, that's relaxing.
I like the linear look on Bab 5 when he meditates. Just puts his thumbs together and he's good to go. That's all.
Yeah. Lucky chap. Lucky chap. Except his life story, that's just sad. Yeah, but no, it always looks like I'm breaking my fingers when I do this, and it makes people laugh.
All right. Well, let's get back to the gay, because I don't know what he's about to say. I want to find out.
Just with male characters who have feminine designs, but with characters who challenge the definition of gender itself. This is something that shows up several times throughout Togashi's work, in a variety of different forms.
Okay, you tell me. So Mr. Randazmo. You are a gay man. I am a trans woman, stuck in mid-transition with a shitty voice. I didn't get my voice training. I don't want to sound like you. I want to do the actual shit. My question is, why are you, a gay man, who's just a man who likes to dig other men and likes to be digged by other men, obsessed with this gender crap? That is, I know you can't answer me because we are watching a video, but why? You're just a homosexual. This topic should be completely irrelevant to you. Why do you obsess over it? And this is also why you don't understand it. There was when just 5 years ago they still did it. 10 years ago it was on vogue in the social justice left that non-trans people should never talk about trans things because they are just, as they called it, cisplaining. There was a point to it, I'd say, because people like him, and I technically 99.999% of all SJWs, don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they talk about trans. They're just talking about this made-up crap bullshit that has nothing to do with reality or with us. And yeah, it's annoying. And now we're in the time where we, the people with the actual bloody condition, have to listen to SJWs berating us about how we should be trans instead of how we are, which is the exact opposite of what they did 10 years ago. Because now their fantasy narrative has taken root. They have tens of thousands of people supporting their bullshit fanfiction pseudoscience, and we're actually very few, and very few of us speak up. And there is always, you can find someone with actual gender dysphoria transitioning, and once passing, it's great when we get into arguments with these people, because there's a lot of trans women and trans men, for that matter, who've had their encounters with these types of people, who got berated by them about having the wrong opinion about trans stuff, and usually ended with lines like, well, how could you know anything? You are just a cis man, or you're just a cis woman. Because we don't tend to, once we pass, we don't tend to reveal that we are actually trans to random strangers, because we actually want to pass. And then getting insulted that we don't know anything about being trans because we are just cis this or cis that is actually quite a compliment in a way, but people don't tend to reveal themselves after that. They just smile and nod and, oh, okay, yeah, what an asshole you are. I've got this before transitioning, where it was just a confused mainly confused girl that I was just asking about why she wanted a certain thing at an event we were planning. I didn't berate anything. I didn't impose any opinion of mine. I just asked, why do you need extra toilets for trans people? I just wanted an explanation. Because from my point of view, guy who has gender dysphoria, I just wanted to know, why does this girl that claims to be trans or claims to be speaking for trans people want something for me that I don't agree with? And instead of giving me an answer, she just insulted me as what was it? As transphobic wasn't a word then. That wasn't a thing yet.
Well, let's not delve too.
But yeah, it's just. I'm sorry. I got carried away.
Yeah.
But it was just. I was stunned, honestly, because she just stormed out after that and just called me. I think she called me some cis man or something. How would I know? How would I understand?
All right.
Just because I don't tell you that I'm trans doesn't mean that I don't understand the thing.
All right. Well, let's see what he has to say about the artwork of this fellow and why androgynous or neither male or female looking characters are an issue in any of these animes. And hey, we got Nicolacan. How's it going, Nicolacan? I see you're there. I can't hear
in some
you.
trouble right now.
Oh, there you go. Okay, okay, good stuff. I see you're in the watch together. Fantastic. Let's keep going. We're talking about the gay in these two manga or anime from this one creator, because his art style or his animator's art style have androgynous or non-gender specific looks, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Focusing on the properties that Togashi is best known for and that were adapted to anime series, Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. Full disclosure, between those two series, we're talking well over 100 hours of anime. I did not watch all of them because Daddy has things to do. So if I get a detail wrong or fail to mention something,
I
just
don't think you're a
please
daddy.
Be kind. Yu Yu Hakusho is about a rebellious middle schooler, Yusuke Urameshi, who dies and comes back as a spirit detective, which is a somewhat misleading title because he doesn't really solve mysteries so much as punch stuff. It starts off very light and comedic, but becomes much darker and more severe over time. The series came out in the 90s, and it is extremely 90s anime. I used to watch it occasionally when it aired on Cartoon Network. It has that classic 90s anime visual quality to it that I love, and it has pretty much all of the classic anime tropes. Oh man, a boob got touched! Unfortunately, it's also very socially...
Isn't
this more of an 80s style?
I don't know. He's... I'm not sure what he's getting at, but I guess it was edgy back then. So... Yay.
Oh, this is the stuff that feminists always cry about. Oh no, toxic masculinity. Oh,
from the
rape
90s.
scene. Oh,
with anime,
we can't show this
with anime for kids. Okay, sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, every time you have a scene like that in a normal show, the man doing it is punished.
Yeah.
Which teaches that doing that is a bad thing. It's not funny.
Even the accidents, they get destroyed. Or even when they don't do anything, they just sort of look at the girl, and the girl's like, "What are you looking at?" And they, storm over and give him one. It's kind of weird. Like, you're looking at me sexually, sort of look, but the women are all inventing it. And of course, the guy, it's always the clueless protagonist, and there's so many throughout the harem anime. They have no idea that girls like them. They have either zero...
Just like in real life.
Yeah, they have zero sex drive, or their sex drive is something they have in private that they're like, oh my God, I'm a pervert. Like, it's never blatantly shown. It's always the upstanding young man who's a gentleman and this and that, but no idea about sex or no inclination toward it.
It's often also that he can't believe that the girl actually likes him.
Yeah, that too, because he's so amazed by these gorgeous women that he's like, this is out of my league already.
Yeah, and that is all. It's something to make you reflect about that at that age. You still do not reflect about because you still can't believe it. At least that's the case for a lot of guys. And yes, the girl actually likes you. You're just not picking up the cues. You're blind.
Do I sound alright, guys? Right now?
You sound like you got lost on a construction site.
Well, my headphones aren't working right.
Okay. All right. Well, we can hear you. Just a little bit muffled here and there. Anyway, we're at 2 minutes, 7 seconds. We're 1/3 done. It's amazing.
Reflective of Japan in the 90s, which means that its treatment of, say, trans people is not great.
What? I missed that. Where's treatment of trans people bad?
I don't know. I think
Because
they're an enemy.
anime was usually quite, and manga was usually quite open about that.
Yeah, and in this case,
Tons of stories and manga about that. How would a gay man know anyway? You are not digging for this stuff, are you?
it's kind of hard to
Fucking-
when you have these spirit creatures in this story where they're magical beings and they're saying we have a body of this or that, but I have a spirit of this or that. You're like, is that relevant at all to modern day affectations of people? Like, maybe not really. I don't think so. Maybe never. Until we start getting into the philosophy of like Ghost in the Shell and all this other stuff, it's like, I don't know. You can go into any body, whatever you want. Here we go. Oh dear. Living in Wisp's walls. Hey, thank you.
Hello.
Healthy fans of anime that grew up with good father figures got into anime talk about how X character could kick Y character's ass in a fight. The ones without a healthy father figure are people like this guy and neuralities. I don't know. We don't know yet what he's going to get at, but he's obviously focusing on the sexual elements of these stories, like a female spirit who's got the body of a man or something.
As I recently learned, my walls are actually hollow. It is almost impossible to hang anything up on them because they just turn to dust.
Cool.
No, not cool.
No, this character Yusuke was fighting, and he found out that they have a penis.
Oh, really?
Wait.
Interesting. Okay. I thought that was a girl. You know, when you tell you they're a guy, you're like, all right, I believe you. Doesn't really matter. Good for him.
The interesting thing is that all that makes this character then a man is the genitalia. None
much.
of the looks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Everything about her is female. So
It's almost as if it's about reproduction.
I guess, when you're talking about aliens and spirits and ghosts and this and that, it's like, okay, yeah, that's anime for you. I'm not going to think about it. It's not that important either way. So this is just a fight scene, and they're just, trying to knock each other down.
Miyuki is a very minor villain who is revealed to be
Yeah, that was actually good of him. If you want to be a man and stop messing around.
Great, I could body slam you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a good line. You want to be treated like a man? Here you go. Bam.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, someone in the chat brought that up. Tyler Preston, I think. Yeah, what's his problem with this episode of Yu Yu Hakusho? He should be praising it as progressive. Yusuke treats her equally as a man. Yeah.
Good on him. Everyone gets to get beaten up by...
Yeah. This guy does not understand jokes. He has no humor. He is offended on my behalf, while I have no problem with that scene.
I guess?
I hate people who are offended on my behalf.
Either-
Get lost, jump in a fire, get back into the hell pit you crawled out of.
Either he's angry or doesn't like the scene, or he's just saying, hey, look at the gay part. Look at this cross-dressing
signaling.
person, man, woman. It's like, okay, yeah.
I think he's just virtue signaling. The only horrible part about that scene was the flashing lights.
Oh, I thought it was the blue hair.
No, it's the flashing lights. Oh god.
Okay.
transgender after Yusuke grabs her junk. At which point he shares some very strong opinions about the
Wait. You? No, wait, I got it.
His or her junk? What is it? How does that work?
Yeah, it's late. I'm gonna. Okay. I thought he was now doing the next crime of misgendering, but he didn't.
All right, fair enough.
type of junk that he thinks that she should have.
心が女だって言うなら中途半端な真似してねえで体も心も両方きっちり女になっちまえ
There's another secondary villain, Itsuki, who has a crush on the male big bad of one of the series' story arcs.
Can't really fault him
Itsuki is
for
a
saying
slightly
that.
more three-dimensional character, and he's treated with a bit more dignity and sympathy.
次元爆弾と恋人をいっぺんに手に入れたような気分だった
Both of these characters are pretty explicitly queer, but they're also both villains, and it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot else to them. Hunter x Hunter, on the other hand...
Have you watched this far enough? Because I never got around to Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's a long time ago. I used to watch individual episodes when we were waiting for the main stuff. Like I had an anime club at university, and either people would be playing video games or doing like Rurouni Kenshin videos or Yu Yu Hakusho videos because they were just free to download and watch. So we were just watching those in between takes. But yeah, don't remember much.
Yeah, I just wondered if anyone could say anything more on the character, because what we usually have is that these video essayists mischaracterize characters or twist something in other ways, like details, or misinterpret things deliberately, or because they're just obsessed fetishists.
I'm seeing
Like,
I watched Hunter.
What?
I've watched Hunter all the way through.
Oh,
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Oh yeah, I watched that pretty recently too.
Okay, can you tell us something about this character?
Honestly, I can't remember him too well. She's in the Chapter Black arc, I think.
Is there something that makes him queer?
Not that I remember. I mean, him and everyone else is pretty devoted to the main bad guy of the arc, but there's no, like... I don't think he's meant to be in love with him.
Who does he refer to with time bomb and lover at the same time?
I watched the dub. I don't think that line was in it.
it is possible
Okay.
the official dub did change some lines to imply things that the original language had. So yeah, I don't think it's like a big deal either. I don't think it's like a major conflict, or I don't think the main characters had any major romantic issues with the bad guys. It's like, yeah, you're still an enemy. We're not going to fall in love. It's not a big deal. It's a very rare thing to see a hero and an antagonist fall in love, if that's like the nature of the story, though. I can't think of one exact example of that. Yeah, but I'd actually have to do some research on that to see if there's any stories where the hero and the antagonist actually resolve their differences and fall in love. That'd be kind of funny. Anyway.
気分だった
Both of these characters are pretty explicitly queer, but they're also both villains, and it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot else to them. Hunter x Hunter, on the other hand, it takes almost the exact opposite approach. The queer element is more ambiguous, but the characters themselves are more complex. The series is about an eclectic organization of adventurer types. There's plenty of fighting and competition, but there's also a lot of complicated politics and interpersonal relationships. Two of the male main characters, Gon and Killua, have a very close friendship, and as such, they're one of the fandom's most popular ships. But from what I've seen...
Really?
That's just Fujoshis being Fujoshis. They're not gay.
I don't think average people who watch that go, oh, these guys are going to hook up. It's like, what? They're kids.
But God and Killua are like fucking 9.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my computer just had a hiccup. What did I miss?
Oh, apparently he says that the people who watch Hunter x Hunter think the two main characters, young boys or young men, what do you want to call them, are the biggest ships in the story, which is
What? Who?
gone.
That can't be normal fans. That can only be the Fujoshi insane borderline girls that are just obsessed with watching gay porn because they are probably too young to find any on the internet.
Yeah.
They just make up shit about anime they watch.
Yeah, I think he means...
And this gay man agrees with that?
Well, I think this is the fanfic group, the people who like talking about this kind of weird stuff. It's like, that's fine, but that's not the fans. That's like a very niche element of any fandom. So,
how old are the characters in Hunter x Hunter?
Gon and Hiro are pretty young. They're prepubescent. They're like 12, maybe even like 10.
Okay, let's go with 10. If you say prepubescent, then 10 makes more sense. So this guy agrees. This old gray-bearded gay man agrees with the Fujoshi insane borderline girls that 2 10-year-old boys have the sexual hots for each other instead of just being good friends that are there for each other and have each other's back when they go through hell. Like war buddies.
Yeah, it's a pretty violent story. Like, there's lots of fighting. So
I'd say with that, if he thinks that 2 10-year-old boys can be sexually attracted to each other, I'd say he's a P word. Not the Pepe.
Okay.
The other thing, the Numbler guy. He's a Numbler guy.
Here's the Donkey King. Hey, Donkey, how you doing? Thank you for the 5. They're kids, and 2, we are talking about that creepo pedo clown guy. Okay. Is he implying that gays touch kids? This reminds me of the Mog stuff. If you guys don't know Hunter x Hunter, there's a series of, I wouldn't call them superheroes, but they each have their own little power. And the clown dude has this like gummy power. You can stick things onto other things and like stretch them. And he's very confident and strong and muscular, and he takes on most of the heroes. He's a very strong dude. I don't think he's implying he's gay. I don't think so. It's mostly just this big strong character. So there's other big strong characters, like their muscles like are protruding out of their body in a very elaborate way and that sort of thing. So
okay.
The stories are funny. They're really like action oriented and over the top. So
Joe Crazy says Gon and Killua are 12. That is still too young for any such creepy fantasies.
Sure.
You creepy man. Maybe someone should investigate you. Ugh.
All right.
I agree with Fo Lu. It always ends horribly. Good example, like Ruby. Good example of why you never listen to shippers. Never ever listen to shippers when you have a writing block or don't know where to go with your whatever you're making. Don't ever listen to shippers.
What would they say though? What would they tell? We should have totally a romantic scene. It's like right here.
The only thing shippers do is just ship every character with every character. Wow. That's how's that helping?
Maybe they do have a skill in writing romance. It's possible that they know how the sexual arousal can happen in a certain way. That could help you, but that implies that you're going to be writing romance in the first place, and you're not doing explicit smut. You're just doing romance, not like a harlequin romance. So anyway, here's Louis seems gay. All right, thank you, sir. This man praising a group of creepy adult women on Tumblr who smell like cheap wine and cat pee, who imagine 2 underage boys who are in platonic friendship as gay lovers, says a lot about him and his audience. I guess a gay man might hang out with ladies who watch anime. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not saying it's impossible. I've just never heard of that. Anyway, you never know online. It could happen. Those women might just be gay men, but the internet.
I'm starting to get worried about his plushies.
They seem pretty tame. I hope.
The little ball probably has the actual expression of recent experience, and everyone else is just emotionally dead at this point.
That's not a COVID plushie? No? Okay.
I don't know, but it looks terrified.
Okay.
There's very little that explicitly supports any sort of romance in their relationship. What's much more definitive is the way the series plays with gender. There are several characters whose gender is either undefined or unclear.
What do you mean with
There's
that?
a male character, Kite, who ends up reincarnated into a feminine body.
Wait, so you know what the sex is? And you know what the Japanese tend to go with the whole soul thing being
Right.
part of are you a boy, are you a girl?
Right.
And telling these stories is part of that. If you get into the wrong body. By the way, this is one way that what's the word? I don't just always want to use esoteric. Spiritual explanations for this condition include the Native American two-spirit thing is just that. That's why it makes no sense to include that as an extra letter or number in this whole letter soup thing.
Yeah.
It's just their ancient way of trying to explain this phenomenon of a weird condition of some people.
Right. When we're talking about,
It does not deserve an extra letter.
when we're talking about reincarnation or cycle of life and death, that's especially prevalent in the isekai genre, where you die, you go to another world, and you're born into a new body, which is kind of similar to yours, but there's lots of stories of a boy or a man going into a pre-existing female or being born as a female, and all the problems that arise. Just recently, I read a manga called The Beginning After the End, a very, very popular manga. And he tells his parents, because he was reincarnated from another fantasy world, and he was like a king. And he tells his parents that the reason why I grew up and I was so special is because I have all the memories of my past life. And normally that'd be like, well, that's wild, that's amazing. But they were concerned because they thought that the reincarnation process, because they never heard of this, actually snuffed out the life of their original son, and his soul was implanted into that, as opposed to just this was a natural thing. And no one has ever really addressed that in the whole reincarnation stories that I'm familiar with. And it was traumatizing. It was like, holy shit, what does that mean? I mean, you were like, suckling on your mother's breasts, and you're like a 7-year-old
That is
man.
not good for your psyche. That is not good for your psyche.
It shatters.
Which is one reason why there is such a thing as childhood amnesia, where you forget that you did that.
Yeah. So, like, this is what went through their minds, but this is a thing which could have been talked about, and instead of it being addressed, it was just sort of like, I need to tell you this because I'm going away. And there's no real reason why he did that. It was just this big episode of, I have to tell my parents I'm from another world, not who I was, but just that I am not what you thought I was. And that was that. And it was like, why did you do that? So we don't know.
And it's sad that I haven't watched these two shows, because then I could say a lot more about these characters and rectify whatever bullshit he's making up about them. Since I haven't, I don't know what the combinations and ideas behind them actually are, because there are a number of rare tropes, if you will, that are used here, and it's not uncommon in Japanese media to have characters like this, or that go through problems like this, and you have characters that do well with their new bodies, for example, and others that really struggle. Just like in real life. And there was, who was it? Somebody in chat. Folu said, was it Folu? I got lost. I'm having a really bad day. Sorry. Oh yeah, they think Folu said they think Ranma is trans, and that is the insanity they go to. Ranma is not trans. That is insane.
Wow.
Also not non-binary. That bullshit didn't even exist then, and it is not what Ranma is. Ranma is simply cursed and makes the best of that curse.
Unfortunately,
It's a
I
joke.
can't.
It's a comedy. It has nothing to do with anything that happens in reality, and it is not really going through any of this nonsense. If anything, people with dysphoria that read Ranma see a little bit of an escapist fantasy there, where oh, there's this magical thing with which I could do the thing and just solve my problems. But well, I would still be cursed and it could be reverted. But at least I could solve the actual problem in some way. So that's the escapist element of it. But it has nothing to do with the actual condition. Ranma is not trans. That's bullshit. Whoever claimed that should just as well crawl back into that fire and brimstone pit they crawled out of.
Unfortunately, I can't speak much on Kite, because after he dies and then gets reborn, he doesn't really appear that much in the anime. I don't know about the manga if he appears in the next arcs or not, but he's not really in it much after that happens. So we don't really get much information on what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Joe Crazy said that character was forced into that body through some means, and yeah, that can lead to problems. But that, God, that also implies that that issue can be resolved if that is possible. So,
all right. Okay. Well, we're halfway done.
Can be an arc for the character.
I don't know what he's getting at aside from, the spirit has a transmigration thing happening in the story, and that's confusing.
Yeah. So what happened is Kite was killed in battle, and a little while later they found out that his consciousness was put into the dead body of another person that one of the Chimera ants had killed as part of the process of making more Chimera ants. So technically he's a Chimera ant, I think.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Seems pretty straightforward to the story. Nothing to do with gender or sex. It's the process.
There's science fiction stories where consciousness gets transferred into some alien body or something. That is that also doesn't make it trans.
Yeah, there's plenty of those. Even the hard science fiction does a lot of detail into like having an artificial body, and it's a whole natural lifestyle where there's actual artificial intelligence in artificial bodies. There's the consciousness that can sit on a server somewhere, and there's all this transition between the two. And then there's the actual organic people who still walk around and have like 800-year lifespans or whatever. So yeah, no, there's plenty of stories like that. That's like from Greg Egan's 7-part series on the diaspora. So there's this is very, very common throughout sci-fi or science fiction. So nothing new.
Just because there's something that has a little parallel here and there, doesn't mean it's the whole thing. It's just something that, there's a similar problem maybe. Maybe and the question is there an actual problem with the body? Does it feel out of shape? Do you feel uncomfortable? And so on and so on. If that's not the case, then there's not even a trans story there. In this case, and there's this, it would be in this case, if his character was uncomfortable and felt out of shape, if you will, the issue would be that, oh god, this is really, I can't form thoughts today. What the hell?
That's okay. We can keep going.
No, I think I need to take off tomorrow.
All right, take it easy. Again, we're more than halfway done, so I'm kind of curious where he's going with this, because it's like, here's a character who transmigrated. You're like, and why does that matter? Maybe it's because internally he's a guy, but in a female body, therefore he's going to be attracted to women, even though he's a female.
What little we see of him showing up again, he's pretty much the same as he was before. He's just in another body now.
Yeah.
Oh, is he the same sex?
No. He was a guy before. He was an adult male, like probably in his late 20s. And now he's a little girl who's probably like, I don't know how old she is, but she's probably an early teen, maybe at oldest.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not a story for that kind of sexual behavior. At least that's where he's going. So
This sounds way too complicated to talk about without having seen it.
Yeah, no, transmigration, other bodies, you're like, that's a good reason for having gay stories or gay elements? Like, maybe, but you have to really flesh that out in a story about fighting. It doesn't quite mesh up too well.
And you know, the interesting part is everything but the sexual intercourse. Especially in a show aimed at children.
Okay, anyway, let's continue.
Neferpito is physically androgynous and uses ambiguous pronouns.
That's just flat out wrong. That was a mistranslation.
Huh.
And the person who did it even came out and said, yeah, that was a mistranslation on my part. She looked kind of, she couldn't tell if she was a guy or a girl in the original art. She said she kind of just looked like a Bishonen dude, so I called him male. But I just said it off. That was it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we could forgive the YouTuber for not knowing that. That doesn't seem like it's a well-known thing. So.
No, it's actually pretty well known at this point.
Okay, never mind. Oh boy. All right. Well, the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's keep going.
The character I personally found most interesting was Aluka. Aluka is a child who's apparently possessed by some sort of wish-granting.
A child. All right. Let's see where he goes with this child.
Oh, God.
Demon and is abused and exploited as a result. The character presents as feminine but is referred to as a boy by every other character except for her brother Kahlua, who refers to her as a girl and is notably the most positive, nurturing influence in her life. It's never completely spelled out, but the implication certainly seems to be that Aluka is transgender. If nothing else, it's not difficult.
You're not. Nobody is trans at that age, and it's not diagnosed as that either. And it shouldn't be diagnosed before the end of puberty.
And there's nothing wrong.
You are spreading bullshit, not just misinformation, as you nowadays call it. You just spread outright anti-science bullshit that is harmful to people because it confuses people of what can be and what is.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a brother seeing his younger sibling as a girl and everyone else seeing her as a boy, because that's how they treat them. That's just how you behave if that's how you think someone is. So it's like, okay, they see her as a girl, as a boy.
I also find that weird because this character, if it is a boy, seems to pass pretty well.
Right.
Why would anyone suspect it is a boy?
Yeah.
Back when I watched this one, I was a little confused myself. I could not find anything concrete on whether or not this character was actually a male or a female, or whether or not, or why there was a discrepancy with the pronoun use.
Right, and it's not that big a
deal. They didn't really say anything about it either. I mean, it might come up later in the manga, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I don't see it as a big deal. It's not a big component of his or her character. She just is the sibling of one of the main characters, and everyone refers to her as whatever, and that's fine. You can do that. That's not going to break the narrative. It's not going to change the character much. If they're just a third or tertiary character, that's not. If
I just don't get the situation. It sounds like complete misrepresentation of what's going on to me, because it's just too confusing.
If gender and sex is part of the narrative, then you have to know these things. If not, then it's not a big deal.
The author must know what's going on.
Sure.
The thing I was curious about was, I wasn't sure whether or not the spirit she was possessed by was male, and that was why the other family members who really care about the spirit are referring to the little girl as a male.
I think I understood that. I'm not sure. It's really hard to follow because your microphone is going all over the place. It's really horrible.
Yeah, sorry. I was wondering if the spirit that was possessing her, that has the power to grant these wishes, was male, and that was why the other people referred to her as male. And because Killua actually cares about his sister, he was referring to her, and everyone else was referring to the spirit.
Now it starts to make sense. So there's two entities or a mixed entity here.
Then, but there's no answer in the show as far as I can tell, and I just didn't find anything concrete about it.
Okay. So there seems to be something more going on here than he lets on.
Yeah, it seems like another story with Kite. The same idea. There's a body of a spirit, and they're different genders. And you're like, okay, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, except this one, the consciousness of the person who's alive is still there.
Cool. All right. Again, to me, that's fine. You can do these things. It might be confusing, which is not a good idea to your audience, but if the story isn't about that, or the character is not about that.
If that's a possession story, then that's not trans.
Right.
There's actually two people in the same body. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't like those stories too much. You get that with science fiction as well, and it's like, okay, yeah, if it makes some sense, then I could wrap my brain around it. But usually when you're talking about anime and manga, it's always a spiritualistic, weird haunting element or reincarnation or past life thing going on. And if they don't introduce that, then it's like, okay, it's just a weird spirit thing that happens in the story because Shintoism or whatever. And you're like, that's it. Who cares? It's weak, but that's what's there. Not going to break anything. It just sounds bad because it's not clear, which is usually a bad thing. But tertiary characters, I'm like, yeah, sure. Don't care. Good for you. Have like 10 of them as long as you're not wasting your time too much. I don't mind. But because the topic is about being gay, then I'm like, okay, where are you going with this, sir? That's a little girl. Stop. Okay, anyway. Whew, we are 2/3 done. That was fast. Let's keep going.
To see a transgender allegory in a character who is feared and mistreated by most of her family because of a mysterious otherworldly force inside of her. Though it is unfortunate that force is a little violent. At the end of the 2011 anime series, Kahlua tries to convince the demon inside of Aluka to stay dormant so that Aluka can have a normal life. But Aluka changes his mind.
Yeah. So
wait. So the spirit is actually violent and does bloody gore shit. That makes it kind of justified to be terrified of the kid.
Yeah, it's a monkey's paw. You get a wish, but it's like someone dies.
Oh, great!
And that's sexually violent, like imploding in on yourself, kind of stuff.
Can people like this asshole please stop talking for us?
I'm not sure what he's trying to say yet, though. That's what I'm...
He's trying to make trans allegories about things that are not trans allegories.
But
there are things that are trans allegories. This is not one of them.
Yeah, but it has to be...
I want to shake him!
It has to be homosexual in some argument or capacity. I'm like, where is he going with the little girl who kills people? Like, what are you talking about?
No. She's not supposed to be a homosexual allegory. She's supposed to be a trans allegory. The boys are supposed to be homosexual allegories.
Then why is he talking about it? It's not the title.
Because he's not talking about trans shit. When he has no fucking clue about trans shit.
Well.
He is like in the chat was said, he's like those idiots that think Ranma is trans.
Oh. Okay. Well, hopefully
when you have allies like this, you don't need enemies.
Hopefully he won't bring up sexuality at all, but that's,
Didn't he already?
Not just when he was referring to the fans who want the ship of the two main characters. Other than that, he's just talking about transmigration, which is like, whatever, sure, fine. It's part of the story. Good enough.
Because as frightening as the thing inside of her may be, it's still a part of her. My overall impression is that over the years, Yoshihiro Togashi has made significant improvements in the way that he's chosen to represent queer people, and I hope that can...
He has not chosen to represent queer people. He's writing interesting stories. That's what he's doing. He's trying to write interesting stories and sees what can I do with a character.
Yeah, what does... Kite and was it Alua have to do with the gay? Like what is he getting at?
Yeah, because he thinks everywhere where he sees the gay, that there's gay intent behind it.
Yeah, I really don't.
This is schizoid shit.
Yeah, I don't think transmigration or body swapping is inherently sexual. It's just your body is being changed. Your mind is over there.
It
now.
is. It is used in fetish stories to achieve then sexual scenes,
Sure.
but that's something else.
Yeah. So
The thing itself is not sexual.
yeah, like there was an episode of Strange New Worlds where Spock and T'Pring switch bodies, and it wasn't sexual at all. It was a ritual gone wrong, which is dumb, but that's fine. And that was it. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing about
And
it.
in the show, there's nothing sexual about these characters either.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's not for that audience.
So I think what he means by Togashi needs more gay, I think he just means LGBT in general, and that's why he's bringing up this trans allegory shit. And he's trying to shove this trans allegory into characters it just doesn't apply to.
Right. You could certainly talk about trans allegories with transmigrations of souls into different gendered bodies for sure. But that would be just a talk about it. It wouldn't be necessarily sexual. Like it's not about sex, it's not about arousal, it's not about having sex. It's just about a different body than what you were expecting.
And it's that we see. This is actually a good example that we see interesting and well-written stories with strange elements in them.
Yeah.
That are there to be written because of the strange elements. They present very different challenges for the characters to clash against, develop around, to grow past, solve whatsoever. And because of that, it is so much better written than any Western bullshit that writes for your gay fetishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your trans fan fictional fetishes. Because that is all bullshit.
Right. So when you're doing fantasy
Japanese just write a story.
or science fiction, you can tell these stories that are fantastical in nature and deal with the human elements of those capacities. Now, you could, of course, tell an adult, sexual story with that if you want, but that's not for kids. That's not for shonen or shoujo or any of these stories for young adults. So, even if they were, why would you promote that? That would be kind of like, well, no, it's no longer for kids anymore. It's like, oh, the genre is for kids, but the content's certainly not for kids. So,
Not to mention, Japanese writers don't care about representation. So this isn't representation. This is just him writing a story that he thinks is interesting.
Yes, exactly.
and we do have stories.
Tyler McDonald is onto something here. They see what they want to see because identity politics is the only lens they view anything through.
Well,
it's confirmation bias.
I want to know exactly what he means by the gay. Does he mean gay sex or does he mean just gay romance stories? Because
I think he's doing. Also, as the chat said, he's doing the gay coded thing.
Oh, that nonsense. Okay, well,
where things are gay coded, that's the lens he sees through, and then the confirmation bias kicks in.
Yeah.
So because he sees the gay coded thing, which is just a stereotype, he sees stereotypical things that he associates with the gay. Therefore, it must be gay.
Right. Because
therefore, everything else then is filled up. All the gaps that he has in his head are then filled up with even more gay.
Right, because we have an entire category of amateur manga which is dedicated to sex, which is doujin, where you take an existing franchise and anyone can do it. It's kind of like the expired.
It's just independent manga.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't have to be porn.
That's right, but it's, in my case, that's all I ever hear about is the pornography element of doujin, and it's like the copyright of the story is just gone. Like you don't have to worry about copyright. Obviously, the original creator can get pissed off, but they usually it's as a sign of homage. It's like, oh, we really like your story. We're going to turn it into an adult story, and anyone can start that way. That's I don't know if that's how they start to get into manga, by doing sex stories with your favorite manga and showing it off to your publishing house and going, hey, well, you bit your teeth off Sailor Moon there, and you told some adult stories. We're going to use that talent of yours and put you elsewhere. Like that's.
Yeah, from what I can tell, they usually start by apprenticing under someone. They might draw a few panels or a background for a panel, or do line art for a character on a panel.
Right.
But and then they might get their own deal. That's kind of what.
Yeah. It's pretty much.
He did that with the guy who wrote. I can't remember if it was Ashita no Joe or one of the other boxing mangas he did. He was helping the writer of that. He drew background art for that and stuff, and then he got his deal for Berserk.
Right, and this is the fan fiction component of manga. You draw your fanfic, and you get noticed, and it could be whatever in the same style. It's usually a different style, but some amateur artists are really good. They do a different style, and it's like, wow, I never thought of Kenichi or shonen manga that way before. And you look at, oh, it's really good. So I really like it when artists do that. We do this with video games as well. If you go into Unreal, you make your first mod or your mutator mod or your level, and you show it off to a company. They like you. Oh, you have some good skills. We're gonna give you something harder to do. See how you do. And it's just pure passion. It's just pure love of the artwork or the art, and making that thing and working for that company that you love or the product or IP that you love. So I'm not against these stories. I just don't think that you should promote the original content that is for kids to have sexual content in the mainstream. That's not right. I'm sure this guy thinks that way too. He's just giving us his wish list, this fantasy. Oh, this needs more sexuality. You're like, all right, that's fine, whatever. Okay. We're almost done. Holy crap. One more minute. Or 2 more minutes, rather.
Continues. It would be interesting to see him explore gender identity or queer sexuality in a deeper way with a lead protagonist.
Okay, this is where we stop.
Pedophile!
Queer sexuality. No, I don't think it's a good idea.
Rantasmo, I'll say it. Rantasmo is a pedophile.
Yeah, that was not a good thing to say. Yeah. That's a tough sell. Like if I were to start talking about, I don't know, my neighbor
FBI, please now.
If I were to start talking about kids shows, like, this could probably have some sex in it. You're like, whoa, there's
that character is not even 10.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, she's younger than Kayla, so.
What is she?
She's 6.
What did you say?
She's probably like 6. Kayla's like.
Yeah.
Around 10.
Yeah. So that's the age I would have guessed. Like, what the hell? Get this guy. Get this guy off the street.
Yeah, this is a bit.
Check his hard drives. Holy fuck!
Oh my god! Don't just.
Can someone look him up if he's already in the registry?
He's pretty much selling himself as the FBI meme. He just everything breaks into his house and just steals all the hard drives.
I'd not be surprised if he turned up with already a public record.
Oh god, yeah.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Smud, thank you. Here's some Ninja Gaiden. Oh, thank you. Smud, the term isn't butt your teeth, it's cut your teeth. Did I say butt? I know it's cut your teeth. Holy shit. Maybe the guy doesn't mean transsexual when he says trans, he means trans am. Is that a Gundam reference? I think it's a Gundam reference with Gundam 00, but yeah, I could be wrong. Anyway, let's go.
In the meantime, I intend to train to become the greatest gay vlogger of all time, which I imagine involves going into a gravity
cell?
chamber and doing Pilates.
In a prison cell.
What? That's it?
Yes, that's it. And now we get gay techno that he takes drugs to.
This is no. We have a minute and a half left.
What? Oh my god!
It might all be credits.
It's all credits. Oh my god! People give him money. Okay.
Oh god, he has supporters.
Gee, what's with this music? Okay, never mind. I don't care.
It's gay techno that you take drugs to and then have sex.
Oh. Jesus, that was fast. Holy crap. All right.
That was horrible.
Creepy ending there. Holy crap.
Please, someone call the FBI over this video.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Okay, let me jump to stream memes because I'm sure this guy is got some scary things.
I think I need to take a shower.
All right, Cyberfrog, what do you got for me, buddy? This guy's videos titles are just all the same. Chuck Tingle needs more gay. He-Man needs more gay. Secret powers of the masculine ideal.
What, Chuck Tingle needs more gay? Can you even fit more gay into Chuck Tingle?
What's with this guy? Persona 4 needs more gay. No, it doesn't. It's perfect.
He's part of Channel Awesome? I had no fucking idea.
This guy is part of Channel Awesome. What? How?
Yeah, he's on the Channel Awesome wiki.
Oh my god. Depictions of transgender deception in media.
Oh god, look at those faces. He looks like a fucking predator.
And he's showing the Naked Gun movie, I think the second one, with Anna Nicole Smith, I believe. I don't know what those other two references are.
Oh god.
Transgender deception, okay. And the last one is Steven Universe needs more gay. Oh my god, does it? How much?
An alleged kids show that is already full of the crap.
Yeah.
There is enough sexuality in that show that shouldn't be there. Oh god.
I don't know what's going on. Peeing with my boy Kurapika. What? Is this a reference to Hunter x Hunter?
He's another Hunter x Hunter character.
Yeah.
That's the blonde guy.
Right. Peeing with my boy. No guy would ever want to take a picture of them pissing together with someone there. Weird as hell. Here he is on his Twitter, Rantasmo, video blogger, writer, and important homosexual. I host Needs More Gay, a YouTube series about LGBT plus media and culture. He, him. Yeah, whatever.
I would have never been able to tell that he's supposed to be a man. His profile picture, he looks older and fatter.
Yeah. When people get into the first episodes of Hunter x Hunter and think it's a happy, adventurous anime. Yeah, no. It's violent. It's all about fighting. Wow. What is this? Marx, Stalin, Zedong?
Read their quotes.
They are worse than pedophiles. Stalin, it's a pathological bourgeois vice. Wow. Zedong, it's a capitalist perversion. What? Castro, a homosexual cannot be revolutionary. Oh, don't tell them that. Uh-oh. Guevara, hard work will make them real. Yeah, and if they don't, we'll shoot you.
30,000. I only say 30,000.
The guy in the bottom, I don't know, but there was a cure against homosexuality. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It's a pretty final one. Allende had a final solution for the gay.
Oh, good Lord. Holy crap. Yeah, those are not good. Don't tell the guys on the left that. That's just...
They ignore it. They completely ignore it. That socialism was always anti-gay.
Yeah, I knew about Guevara, but I didn't know about the other guys too well. But yeah, no, that it's not surprising.
And Marx and Engels, they hated. No, wait, they hated homosexuals. Engels actually was for pedophilia, which is strange. That.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That explains why Marx thinks them worse than pedophiles.
Jesus.
It's absolutely insane.
I know how you got monkeypox. What?
Affenpocken. Yeah, because there were the outbreak was in a Central American rainbow parade. I wonder how that happened.
Let's not talk
and
about
it only spread among the gays, just like AIDS.
Doctors, avoiding monkeypox is simple. Just avoid anal contact. Simple yes. The LGBT community. Oh.
Affenpocken.
I want this doggy. That's kind of cute. And I know what that's from, so I don't see the problem. I don't think that's normal. I don't think he's normal.
Yeah.
I think he's a
Yeah,
bit
that dog has seen a lot of shit.
like, yeah. I want this doggy. Okay. Is that the dog from The Wolf Among Us? Or is that the dog from that crazy anime on Netflix with all the anthropomorphic people?
Yeah, the furry anime.
Yeah, the furry. Yeah, that one. I can't remember what it's called. Bleh. Let me get closer. I'm seeing you. I'm begging you. Just let me play Dragon Quest. Okay. Now that I think about it, that black guy with the lightning makes a good point. The black guy with the lightning. Black Bolt? No, he's not black. Is he? No. I'm trying to think of Raiden, but he's not black.
I think shock.
Oh, yeah, okay. One of them. Yeah, that could work. But that's like, this is a Metal Gear reference. I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't know. Return of the King. What is this? I don't know. What's going on?
I don't understand this one.
Yeah, I don't get it. What's happening? The guy who makes manga has got almost 3 million followers. Okay. He must be popular. Dunn. Is it the same guy we're talking
I think
about?
I know what he's talking about.
Is it the same guy?
I think I know what the Black Lightning guy is talking about. It's the meme of that guy, low tier god, where he has the lightning in the background and it says, "You should kill yourself now."
Oh. All right. Transgender Sussex paramedic says patients refuse her help.
And because that's just a late term fetishist.
Interesting. A paramedic. Interesting. Okay, is this Gone, I think? Oh, he punches the shit. That's good. Oh, boy. I need an adult. I am an adult. I need a different adult.
Yes, that is the correct answer.
Yeah, the creepy clown dude, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who Japanese kids are growing up reading with, who American kids are growing up reading with, yeah.
Wasn't that the UK?
I think it was both. I've seen stories from the UK as well as the States. But that's just one example. There's all kinds of examples of them stripping in front of kids and all this weird shit.
Yeah, just throw these people back into the brimstone pits and get Doraemon.
Those boys got me all tingly, I must comment. Oh, dear. And by comment, he means beat the shit out of them. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cute. See, if you don't watch the anime or read the manga, you don't know what's going on. But that girl's adorable. So, yeah. Fujiyoshi, 2 male friends, and a piece of media. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of line. Let's kill. Okay. Hirano is a madman. Just remembered Kota Hirano in Hellsing drew a short dojin about some unclear bad end plot of One Piece's the Alabasta arc, with a hardcore Vivi making Robin and Miss Valentine get raped by her soldiers before executing them. Holy. Even the guys in charge do dojin. What do you know? Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Change my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So hard to find.
we got him.
Okay, that's the FBI meme. All right. I'll play those later. Don't worry. 4 tickets for Barbie, please. Oh, dear. Elephant kills woman 70 in India and returns to trample on her corpse at funeral after lifting her body from pyre as family performed last rites. I like the trample on woman. Did you
I think that sounds like a very personal issue.
did you know?
That elephant knew something.
Well, I just like the.
And elephants don't forget things. They don't forget.
I like the reverse anthropomorph of Bateman. I like to trample on woman. Did you know I'm elephantly insane? Ha ha. There's the man. Is that Black Bolt? Who is this guy?
That's low tier god.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Da-da-da. All right. That's all we got.
I think he plays fighting games professionally. I think that's why he's famous.
Yes, he was a gamer. I don't know what he does exactly play, though. Okay, that was fast. Holy jeez, less than an hour and a half. Good stuff. Not bad. Horrible, trashy video. This guy must be a dime a dozen. Or rather, his videos are just all the same. So, kind of pointless. I don't know if you guys want to ever do this guy again. Probably not.
Since this is a series he's doing, no thank you, because it will all be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not either.
This show needs more homosexuals. Yeah.
I think he already revealed enough that what he thinks about children and sexuality.
That's a bit weird. Yeah. I hope that's just a thing he's just sort of glossing over and not taking seriously.
Yeah, I hope the FBI takes it seriously.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to even think about it, but yeah, who knows? Bit on the creepo-meter for me. So I could say no to this video. We could ban this dude. I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So guys, that was our delayed anime day. We're going to be having what is it? It's the end of the month. No, we got another week. So we didn't even know. Oh no, it is the end of the week. Right, Friday is going to be another Maggie May Fish Day, unless we have a.
Oh God, do we still have Maggie May Fish videos?
Oh yeah, they're all long though, so it might take us a bit longer to finish them off if we ever get that far.
I don't want to cover her more than once a month.
I know, but she is still a staple here at the Smudcast.
So we'll do, and it will be 2-parters and 3-parters stretched out over months.
Well, you don't have to come to the second or third parts. You can just do the first part, and we can cover the rest for you unless you don't want to. It's up to you.
No, I'm okay with doing 2-parters, but not in the same month. Like, oh God.
Yeah,
there's only so many brain cells I can burn.
She's a handle, but
without neurogenesis.
But she is our funnest, our most fun experience with listening to the crazies. She puts the most effort, and I like that she tries. I do appreciate her attempts.
Yeah, after this year, I agree.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe you make me say this. I would rather watch Maggie May than this creepy dude.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, he is just what? And Maggie May is like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's just, what are you talking about? Silly, crazy, left-leaning feminist mumbo jumbo. So, yeah. Please, more Maggie May light if you guys want. Keep this anyway. Yeah, we're gonna call it an evening. I got some work to do, so have yourself a good one. Keep the suggestions coming. Keep the voting going, and we'll talk to everyone real soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.